Hi there, I'm Richard. Welcome to Burning Spears. Today I'm going to be cooking garlic butter steaks. I'm going to be doing them on the braai, and it's something that I don't normally do, but I'd seen Guga Foods or Guga always profess to put butter on his steaks when grilling them. So I thought I'd add a little twist and give it a bash. I did it for a bunch of friends the other night. It was quite fantastic. A lot of flame and fanfare added to amazing flavor. So stick around. I won't keep you too long on this one, but it'll give you some great results, or give me some great results and you some great ideas. So check this out. So I'm going to be doing a lovely ribeye today. That's from the chuck end of the ribeye. And then I've got 2 bits of picanha, a lot of fat. I found a great supply of picanha recently here in the UK. I just love them. They're not as fat and as chunky as I would like it to be on the meat side, but the fat cap is phenomenal. Grass-fed, you can see the color. The flavor is amazing. And there's quite a bit of marbling in there. Hereford cows, beautiful. I've got to find the farm where these things are made and go and visit them. So look at that gorgeous ribeye. Lots of nice marbling in it. And then these babies, this meat is just so soft, it's to die for. I even had to trim a bit of fat off there. Beautiful things, can't wait. So I'm literally going to season these very simply. I've got kosher salt, freshly ground black pepper here. That incidentally is smoked salt, Maldon salt, that I'll use as a finishing salt afterwards once everything's cooked, just to liven up the seasoning. But very simple, typical for me. Right, so there is a bit more seasoning on than I would normally put on a thin steak. It'll make sense in a little while when you see the cooking technique. A lot of that seasoning will come off, hence why I'm going to be using a finishing salt as well. Then I'm going to have a pot of garlic butter, and I'm just simply going to, I've got a really big giant garlic head here, and I'm literally just going to peel those, crush them up, put them in here with 2 blocks of butter. Right, that's basically the prep done, and it wasn't supposed to rain today, but being still winter in England, you never really know what's going to happen. Well, you never really know what's going to happen at the best of times here. I'm just going to wait for the rain to pass. I'll wait a little while. If it doesn't pass anytime soon, I'm going to use my Kamado Joe as a braai. I'll put my pani wood in there and utilize it as a braai, so it's still a braai. Don't worry about that. But luckily, I've got an old friend to keep me company. Cheers, guys. Okay, so the rain has stopped for a bit. I've got a gap. The wind is swirling, so I hope I've chosen the right gap. I've raked the coals to the side. Luckily I had a cover on here during the rain, so I've still got some action at least. Okay, so this butter's basically melted and is now boiling. There's still a lot of water in the butter, so it's not going to brown too severely during this cook. Okay, so once I've got the cooking process started, then I'm going to start dunking periodically in the garlic butter and moving them around and trying to get as much color that I can on them. So you'll see a lot of that going on. This one's quite small, so I'm going to put that in a cool zone right now, probably just off camera there. If you look at that crust that's forming, it's due to the milk solids. Exactly what I want. Okay, so I think I did a reasonably good job. Now, I generally like sort of rare, but I think I may have overshot this one a bit into sort of more than rare medium range. I think I nailed that one. This one should be good as well. Let's have a look. So hoping for a good medium rare on this, or rare. That looks all right. There we go. For me, that's perfect. Then let's see how I did on this one. No, also pretty good. Okay, well, happy with that. Let's get to taste this. Schweers. Right, now that my palate is suitably cleansed, I'm gonna go in for the taster. Look at that lovely yellow fat, man. Super tender, juicy. And I think that butteriness helps that juiciness. Really has kept a lot of moisture in there. That picanha is really very good though, I must admit. Ribeye. Great piece of ribeye. Tiny bit more tough than that picanha because picanhas are just phenomenal. I think I'm going to stock up on this stuff. But the garlic comes through beautifully. Almost a roasted garlic as well because, of course, of the fire and the flame. There's no like raw, harsh garlic taste or anything like that. So beautiful, beautiful caramelization. Really good result. So I like it. I like it, Cedric. So generally if I was to reverse sear a steak, I would put a compound butter on afterwards, let the compound butter melt in and all that sort of thing, which is great. It is amazing. This is just another quiver to have in your bow. Great results on the Maillard reaction on the outside of the steak. Really easily achieved. What's even more helpful is you see how rare I like my steak. Now to get that Maillard reaction and have a rare finish like that, this is a real good one for the rare steak eaters. You don't have to push your steak more towards a mid-rare or onwards to get that crust. So I would really recommend this if you're having a normal hot and fast steak, normal thickness. Use this method and then you can get that color, you can get that caramelization, that flavor. So I'm very impressed with the results. I hope you enjoyed that and I hope to see you soon. And if you enjoyed this video, and please always like the videos. Thank you. And I hope you join me in my next vid. Until then, that's it.